Welcome to the $300 recommissioning job. Another job I've got. Alright, so there's a fair bit happening here at the moment. I've got to get this MG going. Has a large leak at the rear main oil seal. I'm not going to repair it, just need to get it going and take it to a friend's place to be stored, because there's a couple of jobs, a couple of motorbikes I'm bringing here, XL250s, that sort of thing, to put them together, or put one of them together and give them a bike to ride. The other thing is, I've got to fix all this up. This is all really untidy, and I've got the house being painted at the moment. I've got to replace a bunch of weatherboards, and I bought some yellow tongue for the painter to stand on. And so once he's finished the job, I can make new bench tops with the yellow tongue, trim them off better, put a panel on the wall to hang some tools, that sort of thing. So I've got a bunch of work to do there, as well as doing inside. And I'm coming into, alright, so it's August. We've got, between now and December is my poor period. So every bill, every rego, all the kids' birthdays, brother's birthday, everyone has celebrations around this time. And then of course we've got Christmas at the end. And so generally I stockpile parts in order to get through what I need to carry me through to January, February, that sort of thing. But the reason for this series is because I lost my little daily drive. I was driving a Starlet around, a Toyota Starlet. The reason for that is because I took my Commodore to work, and they're building a new junior school, and some temporary fences weren't shackled at the top properly, and one of the panels came down and hit the car, hit the bonnet. So of course that had to go up and get repainted, and the construction company were good about it. They paid for all that. And so I've been using this little runabout. Now, I've sort of grown attached to it, and the reason for that is because I live close to Eastland, and anyone that lives near Eastland knows how awful it is to park there, and work is difficult to park, all that sort of stuff. So a small car is absolutely perfect for what I want to do, as well as the takeaway food run. I mean, no one likes getting pizza or KFC or Red Rooster, whatever, and then you get in your car the next day and it stinks, and I don't like that. So a Starlet's perfect for that. So anyway, I found another one for $300, and that's what this series is about. And it's a bit of a bomb. It needs a lot of work. It doesn't drive. There's no clutch and that sort of thing. It's all pretty well shagged. But I bought it because it has the power pack. So it's a power steering, central locking car, and that's sort of handy for what I want, with the power mirrors and all that sort of stuff. So this car was, I'll put this down, hang on. This car was delivered from Pit Stop Toyota at the very end of 1998. And it was sold to a lady called Gillian from Hyatt. She only had it for 20-something thousand Ks. It came with all this paperwork in the glove box, every registration label, everything's in there, receipts, you name it. And so I could track its history. A little girl called Emma bought it from Croydon. She had it for only a short time. It was financed. And of course she sold it to Marlene, who I bought it from for $9,000. And Marlene bought it in 2002, so it had three owners between 98 and 2002, and of course Marlene's had it until now. And sort of, it's been run into the ground a little bit. It's a bit sad and sorry for itself. We need to do some panel work, that sort of stuff. This isn't a restoration. This is purely getting it back on the road and sort of making it nice again. Some of the stuff I do isn't pertinent to roadworthy. I dismantled the Starlet here, and of course we had the red one that I used to own that was crashed. And I've got this stockpile of parts, bumper bars and guards and all sorts of stuff. So in this series, I want to not just go into the roadworthy side. I'll do a clutch on it, I'll do the drive shafts on it, but also the front guard and the bumper. And I'll go to I'm going to paint them and everything. I'll sort of break that right down and show exactly what I'm doing in order to do that. Some of the other stuff's on it. There's a list that long of stuff that I just did this afternoon when it rolled up. And there's door trims and all sorts of stuff. That's all stuff I've got. And then the stuff I've got is better than the stuff in the car, so I can just change it over. And so there's no cost associated with any of that. This thing isn't going to be ready to be put on the road till about March. So sort of between now and then I can do a couple of videos on it. I've got some parts stockpiled for the bike engine here, got some new pistons behind me, that sort of stuff. So that'll carry me through these sort of yucky months, if you know what I mean. And while the MG's gone and I've got the bikes here, I can get the back doors for the XC in here and start on those. So I can really diversify what I'm doing on this channel and just do lots of little bits and pieces on sort of 2 motorbikes and a couple of cars. So it's busy, but it's all good. So I hope you enjoy this. Basically getting a $300 car on the road, budget's going to be about $1,000, including purchase price. So I'm looking at spending about another $700. Hence the reason I'll do that next year. And of course, then there's your rego, which is killer. That's like $800 or something like that. So, all work's going on the other cars and the bikes as usual. But I thought I'd throw this into the mix. Some people are into this sort of stuff. Some people hate Toyota Starlets. I quite like them. Great runabouts, good cheap cars. So I hope you enjoy it. Of course, another thing we've got to do is move this car. It hasn't been run for a while. Runs beautifully. It's just got it needs a bit of bodywork doing on it. And beautiful, healthy engine. I've just got to, it sprung a leak in the rear main, so I'm going to help a friend of mine doing a couple of motorbikes, and he's going to store this at his house. I'll show you the reason I haven't driven it though. I don't know if you can see down here. You can see down here that rather nasty crack running down there. Now this car has good sills, but this is all filler. All through this dog leg is all filler. And so what I think I'm going to have to do eventually, I'm not going to do it yet because I've got too much other stuff. You can see that horrible scarring there, which has only come up probably in the last 5 years. I've had the car for 12. I'm going to have to cut into that swage line to there and weld in a whole new dog leg. I think once that's done, this will be stable because it's got 3 new floors in it. From what I understand, or from what I've seen so far, the body's pretty good. But in the condition it's in now, I've decided not to drive it until I've fixed it up. So there's another little will it run, I suppose, later with the television set. Might do a video on that too. So we've got lots and lots and lots of stuff to do with the house and the bikes and the XC and the MG and the Starlet and all this stuff. But it gives us a variety. I love the variety. It just makes for such an enjoyable time. Right, well, I've got a $300 bucket here. Sustained a bit of damage on the left-hand front. There's the part that we've removed. Need a front bumper. I've got the guard and bumper here. If I can't straighten that guard out, I don't really want to. It's sort of had a cheap repair they've done, or done there before. Condition-wise doesn't look too bad, although it has got gremlins. Here's a small list I've made up. I mean, you know, the standard service items, wiper blades, that sort of thing. Good thing about these, this is a power pack car, so it has central locking that sort of opens the other side as well. Door trim's beautiful, but the rest of it's not. So we'll do what we did on the cleaning upholstery for $1 thing, which was a bit of a cringy video, but we can take these covers off and stick them in the wash. They'll come up fine. That side's got cigarette burns and splits and all sorts of things. So I might use, I think I've got a spare cover. You know, things like this, the boot's all manky. It's pretty original, hasn't been touched. Again, the back seat's all dirty. We can clean that up, that's not a big deal. It has sustained a little bit of damage here though. I'm not really sure what to do with that, whether to bother or not. Everything seems to work, but there are problems. We've got no low beam. It has got issues. So that door trim's a bit nuts. Look at that. Ugh. Right. The battery was knackered. I just put it on charge for a little while. But I noticed the ECM light was coming on. There's no clutch. It makes a funny noise too. If I put it in gear and let the foot off, nothing happens. So the clutch has been totally shredded, I would think. Look at that. That's terrible. Air conditioning seems to work. And that's a good thing. Power steering is good. And that's good. And the power mirrors work too. And that's always a good thing. So that's a very rare spec on these cars. What else we got? Needs wheel covers and that sort of thing. I haven't yet checked the charge rate. It's also got, someone's removed the battery tray, the plastic battery tray, and we've got corrosion going on there, which is great. And the cooling system doesn't look to have been maintained too well. 236,000 k's though, so it's been around the block a bit. But for a beater, for a daily, I'm tipping it's going to be pretty good. What else is on that list? So I've found a few things. Front bumper bar I'm going to replace. The gear boot, gear knob. That's all just, doesn't matter, that sort of stuff. It's just trims and timing belts, all that sort of stuff. ECU light came on, don't know why it's got no low beam. I can sort of start mucking around with that, but I just want to sort of see what we've got. The horn works, but it doesn't work on the other car, so I'll stick it on the other car. Exhaust is good, power steering works, engine seems sound. Just needs lots of little bits and pieces. Because it's dull and sort of the globes go all sort of grey, so we can change all that sort of stuff out. I want to know why the low beams don't work. I don't know if it's globes or wiring. And every now and then the indicators and hazards don't flash. So that could be a flasher can. It's got lots of things that aren't really typical or aren't really typically troublesome on a Toyota car. But we've got all these spares from the other one we pulled apart. And I want to put them to good use. I suppose the main thing before I get into cars too much is I've got to replace weatherboards. Got like bits of rot here and there on the house, which of course getting upstairs paints at the same time. So by all accounts it appears to be neglected, but it is straight. You know, there's no damage in all the wrong places, if that makes any sense. Bubbles. So I mean, for a daily hack I think it's going to be really good. Not particularly cheap, $300. But it is cheap given the options on it. I like electric mirrors because I don't like adjusting them manually. Central locking is great on these because they, I don't know if I mentioned that they sort of lock from both sides. You know, you can lock it from either side, and the other one you sort of up and down on door lock knobs and that sort of stuff. But I'm tipping it's going to be pretty easy. I'll get a steering wheel for it. That thing's absolutely munted. If you look at it, it's a bit loose on the grip, so it's not roadworthy. But it should be good. It should be really good. I've got so many spares for this car, so I'm sort of looking forward to messing around with it. But this will just be a cheap, getting a $300 car on the road sort of video, or series of videos, which will fit in well with the other stuff I'm doing. Oh, seems pretty good. Might just get a multimeter and just check that charge rate. So I've got pretty healthy charge rate there. I'll stick the heater fan on and a few other bits and pieces to load it up. Traditionally these cars don't cost an awful lot to get on the road, but I'll go a little bit further with that to sort of make it a bit nicer, if you know what I mean. I'll put that rear demister on. There we go. I've got the fan on, the air conditioning, the rear demister, and the headlights on high beam. We'll see what that's going to do. That's very healthy. Yeah, that's pretty good. So I'm not at all worried about that side of it. So looking at spending sort of max $1,000, and that'll give us lots and lots of service for many years. As I said, you can get these things on the road pretty cheap, but I want it to be a bit nicer, and that way I can drive around. Anyone driving around places like Eastland and trying to find car parks will understand why I went this direction. Smells a bit of cigarette. We can see why. We don't smoke in cars. That's the worst thing you can do. It's dangerous and it stinks. And so this sort of thing is just average. There's a couple of burns, I think, in the carpet, a couple of little spot holes, little tiny holes there where the ashes have fallen. So, I might change that door trim. I've got another one of those from the other Starlet too. I reckon it's going to be nice when it's finished though. So I'll sort of aim at February, March. I've got to paint the doors on the XC. While I've got the guns out, I can just do a guard on this. It's going to be pretty easy to do. And the guard I've got two of them actually, I think. Is really, really stable in its paint, so I don't have to rub it back, just key it back. Quick coat of primer, and I'll get some of this stuff. This baby blue, whatever it's called. It's faded on the roof, but it hasn't started to delaminate. The clear's not delaminated, so it's got this really cool sort of blue fade from silver to blue. I don't know if you can see it on the camera. And so it's all good there, but here, that looks like it's been repainted at some stage. It's a different colour, and you can see the difference there where they've tried to blend it, and they've done a very, very bad job of blending it. But so with all these parts, I can't get under here at the moment because the weatherboard's in the way, but there's boxes and boxes of, that's the back of a chair, boxes and boxes of Starlet stuff. That's an air conditioner there, I think. So we need to go in there and get all that stuff to rebuild our car. So there we go. It's going to be something I'm not going to hurry with. I've got too much other stuff to do, but I just figured if I get it done by March, it should be pretty good. It should make for something fairly interesting, because it's not a restoration, it's just getting it back on the road and cleaning up a few things. Anyway, hope you enjoyed. See you later.